Welcome to r/Entitledparents, where an entitled mommy demands that people make the Holocaust more child-friendly. So, I'm from Germany, and we have some NS museums in different places to remind us of the horror and inform visitors of what happened in the specific area of Germany they're visiting. I was visiting one when I heard a child cry. Not a baby that didn't know better, but a toddler. Sounded genuinely upset. Enter entitled mom. I hear her loudly complain about a video and how this isn't child-friendly at all. Now, first of all, in these museums, it's effing quiet. Second of all, they are not supposed to be child-friendly. They show raw, horrible pictures that show a brutal truth, and most adults are left speechless. It can turn your stomach sometimes. The employee said, "I'm really sorry it upset her. This museum is suggested for ages 14 and up." How is she supposed to learn? Now, the kid was 3 max. You can maybe talk to them about it, but these museums are clearly not for kids. It even says so on the website. Now, I'm already invested in this when mom goes on about how they should have censored that. I turn around to see what they're talking about, and my heart sinks. It's a video of piles of dead, starved, naked bodies they found in concentration camps. It's a horrifying thing to look at. And this lady complained about some genitalia being shown? I'm pretty sure the kid was crying about the overall visual and not some dicks. The employee looks shocked, and she has clearly never heard that complaint before. She confusedly offered to refund their tickets, and the lady angrily agreed. Some people. Clearly, what the Holocaust Museum should have done was gone back and put smiley face emojis over all of the sad, dying prisoners to make it more child-friendly. 5 years ago, my husband and I bought a house. We'd been saving for years for the down payment, and the stars must have aligned for us to get it. Everything worked out perfectly. The house was a major fixer-upper, but it had land, and we were happy with that. Turns out, brother-in-law had looked at the house when it was listed as well. They decided it was too much work to fix up and not worth it. They wanted major upgrades too, whereas my husband and I are very simple people. We don't need granite countertops or a soaking tub or hardwood throughout. Met up with the family recently, and the brother-in-law was talking about how cramped their condo has become with 2 kids now. Brother-in-law decided this was the time to tell us that we should trade houses. I kid you not. Brother-in-law is very, very entitled. Brother-in-law proceeded to argue that we are only 2 people and their family is growing and could use the space. Literally suggested that we give ours to him and buy out his condo. I laughed. I knew he was serious, but I couldn't help but laugh. I'd never in my life imagined someone could be so freaking entitled that they demand someone give up their home for the sake of another family. Are you kidding me? Brother-in-law then got mad at me for not even considering it and began justifying all the reasons his family needed our house more. Oh, you think this would be the worst part, right? Nope, it gets better. We never finished the basement, so there was only 1 bathroom in the house. Brother-in-law informed me that if we were to trade houses, that we would need to make some major upgrades first, because he wouldn't have time to be able to make any renovations. He was somehow inexplicably certain that I would see the logic in his plan and just trade houses with them, because they needed the extra space so much more. And now, my brother-in-law isn't talking to me because I laughed through the whole thing and wouldn't take him seriously. Win-win. Go ahead, punish me by not talking to me. At least then, you'll stop trying to make me the bad guy because I have 2 spare rooms I don't use. My husband and I each have an office. And tell everyone how horrible I am because I wouldn't buy out your condo at market value while giving you ours out of the goodness of our hearts. Last I know, he was now trying to tell my father-in-law to retire and move into the city so that they could have the farm. Joke's on him. Father-in-law already talked about it and has left the farm to me and my husband in his will. Because we actually farm and brother-in-law thinks it's too much work. I always thought the internet exaggerated that people like this exist. I thought situations like this couldn't possibly be real. What the heck are these people thinking? On that note, this YouTube channel has become way too much work and I'd like to trade with a smaller YouTuber. So let me know if you've got under 1,000 subscribers. I'll give you this channel and in exchange I'll buy your channel for $100,000. Let me know if you're interested. Some context backstory. I still live in my parents' house since my university is really close, so I don't need to get myself an apartment. The story happened about a year ago. The story. On a beautiful Sunday morning, I got woken up by my mother telling me that she has invited my aunt with her kids for lunch. Now, to be honest, I never liked that particular aunt that much, but what can you do? So, about 2 hours later, the family come over. We have our lunch, and afterwards we sit around in the living room and chat about. At some point, I noticed from the corner of my eye one of my aunt's kids going to my room. Now, I had my computer open, and I was a bit afraid that he might do something to it, so I followed him. Now, that kid was about 8 at the time, and he should in no way be allowed to play violent video games. And me, being an avid gamer, most, if not all of the games I had installed were rated as PEGI 18, meaning they were to be played by people over 18. The conversation went like this. Do you have any games? I do, but they are not for you. These are grown-up games. But I want to play! I'm sorry, but you cannot. At this point, the kid runs out of the room and to his mom. OP does not let me play games. The entitled mother says to me, come on, let him play some games. He has nothing else to do. The games that I have on my computer are not for his age. They are violent and disturbing at times. But my little boy wants to play. Can't you let him play? I'm sorry, but these games are not for your child. Excuse me, we are guests and you have to do what we say. Just let him play. At this point, I've gotten really angry and in hindsight, I should have just opened a Flash Games website and let him play. But this computer was my most prized possession, having built it myself with mostly my own money. And I would not let an 8-year-old play freely with it because I was afraid that he could damage it. Also, my malicious compliance side came out at that moment, so I did not pass the chance for some good old malicious compliance. I say okay to both mom and child and take the kid with me. I open Outlast. For those who don't know, Outlast is a horror game with many disturbing images and scary scenes, especially for an 8-year-old child, and let him play. Not even 5 minutes in, I hear a scream from my room and I hear entitled kid run crying to his mother. What the heck did you make him play? What's wrong with you? I told you before, my games are not for young children, they're for adults. But you wouldn't listen. The mom straight up picked up her children, one still crying, and left the house. After I told my mom exactly what I did, she burst out laughing. Learn to listen to people when they warn you. Let me start by saying I'm 36 weeks pregnant, and it's very obvious I'm pregnant. I'm huge, massive, uncomfortable, tired, and grumpy. I am currently in my local chain coffee shop, sitting now with my effing cup of coffee that had to be remade because some random grandmother decided that as I'm pregnant, I shouldn't be allowed to have caffeine. Full story. I've ordered the coffee, just a grande cold brew, nothing crazy, and I'm standing at the end of the counter waiting. The barista calls my name and drink order. I go to take it. This grandma says, "You can't have that." I didn't know she was talking to me, so I continue to reach for my cup. You can't have that, you're pregnant. It's one cup, it's fine. No, you can't have it, you're not allowed. She takes the cup from my hand and drops it full into the trash next to the counter. You cannot be serious. It's fine. My doctor even says it's fine. I looked at the barista who is just standing there, mouth agape. She lets me know she'll make me another. Please, leave me alone. I'm tired and want my coffee. I get 1 cup a day. This is it. Please go away. The grandmother, banshee screaming at this point, no, you can't have it. You're pregnant. It will make you have the baby now. You can't do it. I won't let my daughter do it either. But she drinks it anyway, and if I can't save her, I'll save you instead. I don't think she breathed during this at all. Also, what? Save me. Me looking around for help because I'm not good at confrontation and she's making me panic. Please stop. Looking at barista, pleading for help with my every thought. I'll just take that directly when you're done. The barista hands me my cup directly, and this insane woman goes to take it from me again. So I yelled for her to stop trying to come near me. I literally, loudly, and even now have a bit of a shake from doing it, shouted, "Please leave me alone. You're making me uncomfortable and I don't want you this close." She stopped, did this fish mouth gaping thing, went, "Ugh, fine," and left. The barista gave me a drink coupon and apologized for the stress, but goodness, how can someone think that's okay? So a pregnant lady drinking coffee is unthinkable, but harassing and stealing from a pregnant lady is perfectly fine. So after all this time reading these stories and saying to myself, this can't be real. It actually happened to me today. Background, I'm a high school culinary arts teacher. Rewind to Friday. The following exchange happens in my third hour class. The student says, "Miss, why are you giving me an F?" "Because you turned in 3 out of 27 assignments." "But miss, I got a game this weekend and now you made me ineligible." "Sorry to hear that. Maybe turn in some work?" "Can't I just go wash some dishes or something?" "No." Kid stomps off. Now, that is a common exchange for a teacher during sports season. I thought nothing of it. Until this morning. I checked my email and saw this subject. Concern about entitled kid's grade. The original email was nice enough. Why is entitled kid failing, etc. So I emailed back entitled parents with the same response I gave entitled kid. And then stuff got real. I received a series of emails from entitled parent. Basically, "How dare you? Don't you know who he is? The basketball team needs him. Change his grade right now." I emailed back, "No, I can set a meeting with coach and principal if you like." "No, you're just the cooking teacher. Do as you're told. Change his grade now. It's not like he will ever need the stuff you teach anyway." "Sorry, I'll help him after school with his work if you'd like, but I'm not changing his grade with no work." "Listen, change his grade now or we will tell everyone you've been trying to sexually assault him." It was at this point that she must have realized her truly epic mistake. This was my school email, and all of them are archived and can be seen by the public with a simple request. Because before I could even reply to that one, I got this. "And just so you know, my husband is a professional hacker for the government, and these emails will all be gone in minutes. Change the grade or else." So I took my stack of newly printed emails down to the boss just like a few minutes ago. Can't wait to see what happens next. So this was posted about a week ago and just recently OP added an update. Okay, so I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. After school, I got the expected call from admin to come in for a meeting. Much of this meeting took place without me, but essentially they rounded up entitled kid and asked him, point blank, if I'd ever sexually assaulted or harassed him. Entitled kid said, "No, she'd never do anything like that." So then they showed him a copy of his mom's email, and I guess he turned very pale. He said that after he got home, he told his mom he couldn't play in the game. She told him not to worry and that she'd take care of it. Entitled kid was suspended 2 days and can't play until all missing work is in. Now, as for entitled mom, they couldn't get a hold of her, so they called dad. Dad, not military or government or hacker, is actually a mild-mannered accountant. Dad said entitled mom called him from the road and told him she was probably going to be arrested and not to tell anyone where she was. My principal relayed this info all while trying very hard not to laugh. School resource officer asked if I wanted to press charges. I said no. End of story. Not very climactic, but oh well. Hope entitled kid gets his mom home soon. Hope dad gets her some mental health help. Can you imagine sitting at work and you get a call from your from your stuck up wife who says she's on the road fleeing police because she tried to set up one of your kids' teachers for false sexual harassment? I know we literally just did this in a previous video, but let's get an F in the chat for this poor husband. That was rSlash_Entitledparents, and in an earlier video, I told people that I would shout out someone who gave the most choosing beggariest response imaginable. And I think I found a winner. Wow, I can't believe you've done this. That galaxy that you use as your background contains Earth, and as I am a resident of Earth, that background is a photo of me. I will sue you for copyright infringement of my face, but I'll make an exception and let you off if you give me a shout out. Arpita Ratan, please don't sue me. I'm getting enough trouble as it is with demonetization, so I really can't handle your totally legitimate lawsuit. Please accept this shout out as a humble apology.